Hey guys, Tim here. July 3rd, we are at the South Yard. The trailer's gone because all the nukes, except for that one, are gone. But I just came down here just to do a little bit of work. There are two colonies right here, and here, that I want to look at. Just, you don't see a lot of action at them. It's because well, I got to think of which one now. That one is Colossus 1. I split Colossus off of her original colony a couple of weeks ago. And I'm letting them requeen, and so she's in there. This is a nuke that I kept because it was just growing so prolifically. The queen was laying so hard. It was probably one of the best nukes that I had, because I raised nukes to sell, but thought I'd keep these guys, and so I did them. I'm going to look at that little guy, but wanted to just show you guys the hives real quick. I keep adding and they keep growing, and so I'm trying to think ahead, plan ahead, because there's a hellacious nectar flow on right now. It's 80 degrees, finally, getting some nice weather. There's a hellacious nectar flow coming on. All the lindens are opening. They're a month late, but these bees are really this big. I mean, they're huge, and so I'm just going to check these guys. So like I put this super on a week and a half ago or so, just because these two upper ones were jam-packed. And so I need to all I'm going to do is just look to see what's going on in there. But the work I'm going to do is on these little hives over here. So I'll open them up, let you see Colossus and this other little split that I made, and we'll see how they're doing. So no bees up top yet, but I put that on there just anticipating the nectar flow. So we have bees on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, probably 8 frames, 9, 10, yeah. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shuffle some frames around. You'll see what I mean, because I see that they're not drawing this one or this one out. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, and 10, I guess. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move a couple of frames and these empties inside so that they have to draw them out. So they're just starting to draw these out now. This one was actually a kind of a half funky looking drawn out frame. But you can see them now drawing the rest of these out. So I'm going to dive into the brood nest here and just see if I can, again, just shuffle some frames around. So here's our girl. As soon as I pulled this frame out, she was sitting there laying, which is cool. Yep, this year's bee. And yeah, so can you see this brood? I mean, every single one of these frames is just brood and hatching brood and laid, she's just laying like crazy. So they just look really, really good. I'm really excited about this hive. Great colony. Again, just a crazy. So this has got just kind of some crazy comb on it. I know, like that stuff. But look at the brood pattern. So this queen, like, she just hatched this year, and she's laying like this. This is why I kept her. It's unbelievable. But I want to get rid of kind of this crazy drone comb there. Yes, that is a cell. That's actually the cell that she hatched out of. There's another cell there, doesn't have an egg in it, and yes, that is some nasty looking drone comb right there, I know. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this frame to the edge, the number 9 position, or the number 7 position, and as that brood hatches, I want them to backfill all of this drone comb here, and so I'm going to shuffle frames around. That's part of what I'm doing here. And so yeah, that's that colony. I just wanted to, I don't even have a name for it, but just wanted to go through them, see how they were doing, shuffle some things around, and I did put a strip of apivar on because I'm not harvesting honey from here, so leave that on for the brood. Jump into so I don't have a name for this queen, and Colossus is in there, so we're gonna jump into Colossus real quick and see how she's doing. So this is one of my most favorite colonies of all times, and as you can see, these bees, they're just a Caucasian. I mean, they're just silver grays. You don't see a yellow bee in the whole bunch. Love this queen. She's been a great queen for me. And so, a little concerned because I do see, like this burr comb here, means that they need room. They're just now starting to work the super a little bit, drawing it out, but there's not a ton of room in here. And so, I'm going to just rifle through these frames, see how they look. Hopefully no surprises. Second frame in, here's our girl. Colossus 1. This is the first split I made off of the original Colossus hive. She is marked blue, but that was when I marked all of my Colossus bees for lineage. She was actually made last year. Last year? Yeah, last season. First split that I made, I think like back in April last year. And she's just a great bee, really pretty dark bee. Just looks just like her mom. It's funny because I made 4 other splits off of Colossus, the original Colossus, and all of them were blonde. They were all Italian looking. So anyway, I'm going to put her back in and keep going through frames. So I tried something, so I put them back together. They did get a strip of apivar, again, because I'm not harvesting honey off of them. But I gave them, so this is pointing south. This is pointing south, their entrances do. But I had messed up when I put that medium on there, and I drilled a second hole in it. So they have a hole in the front and a hole in the back. And I had this cork in it. I'm going to leave it out and just see if they use both entrances. See what happens. Anyway. Let's get into that little nuke real quick and then I'm probably done here. I might look at the supers there real quick, but it's July 3rd and I need to have a date with my kids tonight. We're going to go miniature golfing, so I'm going to get this work done. So this is probably my youngest colony. They're just a little tiny little colony. They do have drawn comb in there, but they're only on like maybe 2 or 3 frames. Just she's such a young queen. They're feisty though, so we'll see how they should do. All right. I'm just gonna run through here real quick, see how they look. So there she is. She's just young little queen. She's starting to lay fairly well. They got a lot of pollen stores in there, really pretty pollen and good honey capped up there. Where'd she go? There she is. But she's just a young little queen, so she'll pick up anyway. But that's her. I'll go through the rest of this hive. This is only 2 frames in, so this is the next frame, and I'm fine with that. That's a decent little laying pattern for this young of a queen. She's laying out really, really nice. Yeah, cool. So that's that. I know some people out there maybe watching are like probably thinking like, well, why are you using apivar right now? Why aren't you using oxalic? Well, I'll tell you why. Because I've got a bunch of apivar on hand, number 1. Number 2, I'm not harvesting any honey off of these hives. They're too small. They're going to need it for winter. And number 3, because they're my bees, and that's the way I want to run them. I overwintered 100%. And so this is the way I keep my bees. So anyway, that's that. You should probably look through these supers just real fast, especially that one in the Liberty Hive. I want to see if they're climbing up in there. So let's take a look in there. So I was worried about this colony because, okay, so this is Queen Liberty 2.0. So if you remember, Queen Liberty was 4 years old. She was a 4-year-old queen. She got superseded this year. Her daughter is now in here, and she started off slow, and I was like, okay, I'll just kind of watch it. And I opened them up and was like, holy crap, she's got everything laid out. And so I quick ran and grabbed this Western to throw on them, and they're just now thinking about it. Like, they're just not working it hard, but they are up there, which is fine. But the thing I was worried about was the last time I did an inspection in here, I found swarm cells in this bottom orange deep, which is why I ran home and threw this Western on. But they don't seem to be, I mean, they're up there, but not drawing anything super good yet. But we'll give them another little bit of time here. This is a pretty decent sized colony. I'm not going to lift this off here, but I want to check these other supers though too, because the Wild Hive especially, 3 deeps and 2 mediums. So let's see what they're doing. Sorry, I forgot I was filming. I got into these guys anyway. So, whoops, did be all honey, and it's almost, it's 2/3 cap right now. So empty, medium, then I'm going to put the smaller medium and the full deep on. That deep's heavy. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it up there. I'm not as young as I used to be, but I put the empty on because I want them to be like, holy crap, where's all of our honey, and just to work harder to go get it. So oh cool, biplane. You see that? It's kind of neat. All right, so I'm going to put them back together. So huge. This hive is just ginormous. But I should be spinning honey in about 7 days. That's exciting. Well, I got it up there. That's all I could do to get it up there. So, brood boxes. This is the brood nest. Queen excluder is on. Empty that they're working on right now. And then full medium, 2/3 cap, full deep, 2/3 cap. And I had made reference of putting the empty on the bottom. If you watch Canadian beekeeper's blog, Ian Stepler Farms, will also tell you to rotate with your empty on the bottom, because the bees go, well, where in the hell did all of our honey go? We've got to work harder to make more. And so these guys will come down. There is a little patch of brood right here in this box that will hatch out today or tomorrow. And then all those bees will move down. Once I know that in a week, I know that everything will be hatched. It's supposed to be 80 for the next week. I know everything will be hatched out of there. I know that everything will be backfilled in that upper deep. Escape boards will go on. I will jam everybody down into the lower medium, lower colony there. And when I do that, also put another medium on that they can work on too. So might as well just look at these guys while I'm here. All right, so they have honey here and here, but last time I was in, I pulled the outside frames that they weren't working on, put them in the center, and so they're still working those over. This one's empty. They're just drawing it out. Fresh frames. Let's check one more. We'll get into these damn Italians. 2 deeps, 3 mediums, and bees clear at the top. See what we look like in here. So they're working. I took this one off. Not super full yet, but you can see nice white honey down in there, nice white comb. They're drawing out these end ones, not done quite yet. And then next up here too, same thing. Looks like they have honey not on the outside frames, and so I might swap them, put them in the middle. All right, so honey in the middle. These are, have you guys ever heard of Duragild? This is Duragild. And I bought these brand new Duragild inserts from a buddy of mine here. I'm not sure if I like them or not. It doesn't seem like the bees like to draw them as much as they do just regular old rough old plastic. But I'm trying them. I moved that one to the center. They'll work them. It just seems like they just take a long time to work them. So anyway, so I moved those in, moved honey frames out so they can start working, and I'm just gonna lift this one up real quick and see if they've, because this was a brand new super that I put on, see if they're working it. Yeah, they're drawing wax. They're not drawn out right now, but they also have been in because of the weather, and so this week I bet you that box gets drawn out. So that's it. I gotta run up to the north yard, swap over a nuke, and then I'm out. Yeah, so up the north yard, still the 3rd of July. All I have to do up here, I actually have to take that orange box off of there because there's an escape board on there. Because I rearranged that colony. So that is the colony. Sorry. This is the colony that I posted a video of when all the bees were fanning on the outside of this box. That's what it was that queen came back from mating flight, just like I thought, just like I said. And so I went in there because they didn't need as much room as they had, and ripped through everybody, jammed everybody down to 2 boxes, put a medium on, and then there were bees in this box, but no eggs, no brood, no nothing. But I wanted the frames, and they didn't need 3 full deeps anyway, and so I put on an escape board to jam everybody down in there. These guys pissed me off because I put that super on there and they wouldn't. I put it up there and they wouldn't draw the damn thing out. They just sat on it for weeks without drawing it out. And so I put it in the middle. I just split the colony in half and put it in the middle anyway. So then Big Blue. But what I'm up here doing is I have to fit this double nuke into that single box because it's sold to my buddy Scott. But I need to figure something out here. So let's see if I can jam. I don't think that all the frames are full. I'm going to see if I can jam this box into that box. Here we go. Well, I did it. They only have to be in here for a night. Scott's picking them up tomorrow. Scott. Not Scott from Moscow, Scott from west of Spokane. Anyway, there are 5 frames in that, but just full of nectar and stuff. But these, so here's another one of these super queens. This nuke isn't very old, but all frames, whoops, look like this. Just freaking ripper, man. She's a good one. You guys see that? Good queen. I'm gonna drop these guys in here and swap them. Put that box in. Put this box, this cardboard nuke, into the original hive location, and we're good. Queen is in. She's marked Italian, beautiful blue Italian, marked blue, beautiful Italian bee. But man, they're freaking jam-packed in there. So they're not happy though. I need to get the rest of these bees out of here. So let me flop them around and try to call it good. All right, well, they're in. Maybe not happily, but they're in. So they're in this. Entrance is in the same location. It might look a little different to them, but the bees are, I mean, you can see them. Short of, holy crap, this isn't our normal box. I mean, everyone's diving right in to where they came from. They smell that queen in there, and they'll head in. So they'll all be in by nightfall. I'll come out real early tomorrow morning and put them away. I need to open this box up here. Or put them away. I mean, close them in so Scott can come get them. I gotta take this box off of here. All right. So while I'm here, I want to show you guys this. So this is a queenless colony. This is a colony that I made a split out of. They raised the queen. I saw her in there. Queen didn't return from her mating flight. So now we have a laying worker. See all that? Oh, drone comb. It's all drone comb. There's a laying worker in there. No bueno. So, show you another frame here too. Okay. Laying worker. All drones. We can take care of that. It's no problem. I did put a queen in here. They didn't accept the queen that I put in there. I put a Purdue mite biter in there and they killed her. Little bastards. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to combine them. So you guys are going to watch me combine this colony real quick. So, I took that 8-frame box that I had on that colony with the new queen in it, right there, right? Right. She's laying like crazy, by the way. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to checkerboard these bees. 8-frame box, right, eh? Right. 8-frame box. So I'm going to take empty, drawn, empty, drawn, empty, drawn, right? Empty, full, empty, full. This colony's been sitting here for like a month. Just time to do this, getting late in the year. So, checkerboard these guys like this. A couple nectar frames. Okay. Piece of apivar on there. Okay, all right, right? Right. Now, sorry, I'm working while I'm filming here. And I'm not too good at multitasking. Okay, so they're on there, right? All right. Colony's there, queenless colony. We're just gonna merge it. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna pop this super off of here. Stand by. All right, here goes the old newspaper trick. Ready? Newspaper goes on. Well, here comes the damn wind. Let me grab these bees real quick. Stand by. Okay, normally I wouldn't tape that newspaper down, but the damn wind started blowing again, like it always does. So, queen right colony. Some people say put it on the top. Some people say put it on the bottom. I've always had it on the bottom or the top, but it hasn't made a bit of difference. So, queen right colony on the bottom. Piece of newspaper. Get in there, bees. Piece of newspaper, right? Okay. I just have it taped on there. So, we're going to take the queenless. Take the queenless colony, okay? Queenless colony does not have a queenless colony does not have a upper entrance or an entrance hole in it. So they do say that you should take and put a couple of slits in your, see I'm doing that, put a couple of slits in there. So what the deal is, okay, so you put the slits in so that this colony can chew through the paper. But what's really happening is that these bees are like, where in the hell did all of this newspaper come from that is in our hive now? We want it out. And so they start chewing through to each other, and they're not worried about two different colonies. They're worried about getting all this damn newspaper out of there. These guys don't have another way out, so they have to merge, or they're screwed, you know. So they've got to chew their way down. And so here goes. That's on. So we're going to do this. Boom. You're just going to square up your corners like that. Now, we just merged the two colonies together. We're just going to leave them like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here, grab the rest of these bees and dump them, because they're wondering where everything's at. Dump them in there and call it good. Merge two colonies together, see what happens. Okay, so I know a lot of you are probably saying, well, what about all the other bees, the foragers that are coming back? Well, there wasn't a lot because it wasn't a huge colony. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and a half. There's 9.5 other colonies that they can find a place to go to. I promise you that they will drift right over to the other hive. So these guys, back to 3 deeps. I'll give you an update here in next couple of days, but it's never not worked for me. So there you go. My battery says it's time for me to sign off. So Tim with Post Falls Honey Company, merging colonies, watching the nectar flow come on. You guys have a happy and safe 4th. We'll talk with you soon.